Greetings, and I am back with another test read for a UK rapper by the name of Wiley with a W, and he has been called Wiley Cat and now Wiley K, and that's his brand name, so we'll go by that, Mr. Cohen's, and we shall proceed. Um, he is relatively known over in Europe as a grime rapper. So I had to look that up. I guess grime is like another form of rap music, like drill music in the States, trap music, which we call so in the States and stuff like that. So the reason I am doing his chart is because he has been in the news in his area of some controversial remarks that he has made and has been labeled as anti-Semitic. I wanted to see what was going on and why all of a sudden this feverish response and just the news being put on him. We recently had something similar that happened over in the States with Nick Cannon with some controversial remarks as well, and I did a video, if you look in the index of his test read, that broke it down. So we're going to test read here and break it down. And I did pull up a chart based on his birthday. Now what happened is, because I don't have exact time and I did look and try to search for it, I have to go with an actual hypothetical chart, which places him at 12 p.m. Now he could be a morning star, which just means you're born in the middle of the night, like a.m., or you could be a dark star, evening star, I think they call it, which is later on in the night, evening, afternoon type of birth. That could change the positions of his house. That's why it's very important to have the time when you're doing a reading for someone to really know as far as what transits are going on. And like I said, those green outer things out there is his transit. As you can see, he has a lot going on in Capricorn because he is a Capricorn. He's born January 19th, 1979. He is 41 years old. And right now, as you know, Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn are retrograde back in Capricorn. So it's interesting how all this stuff is coming out now in Capricorn, right now in retrograde. Had it been in Aquarius going forward, it might be something different. Actually, I will give you my honest feedback at the end of this reading. Now, from what it looks like, the Capricorn is in his 10th house. 10th house deals usually with your career. Let's see if I can scroll this up some. Okay. With that 10th house placement, I can't scroll the picture too much. Oh, yes, I can. Yay! As you can see, 10th house, and also the moon is in Capricorn. This is based off of August 1st. And the moon is traveling through Capricorn. He has issued an apology that we know of, because since then he's been deleted off of social medias like Facebook and Instagram. So if his fans even wanted to follow him, they can't at this moment, and he's being punished in a sense. That's at least the way I see it. As let me see what else is going on. That Mercury right now is in Cancer, as just at the bottom. So there's more compassionate communication, and that is his. Let's see, because they got the Aries as descendant or first house, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 4th house is Cancer, home, connecting to home. His home, which is in the UK, connecting back to that source. His natal Saturn is in his 6th house, which is in Virgo, which is right now, 6th house is opposing his, well, it's not opposing anything actually, because he has Neptune transiting his 12th house retrograde. So there could be some illusions going on in that aspect. And his true north node, which is you can't see it in this chart, I'm sorry, it's all the way over. His true north node is in Virgo. Now, as we look into that chart as well, his moon is in Libra, and he has Pluto in Libra, because he's part of that Pluto and Libra generation. Pluto and Libra generations are always about expressing their balance. They want to balance life. They want to have some form of, when it comes to relationships, they want to set the trend. But Pluto is about transformation. Pluto is about transforming something that has been discarded. So he's very serious about his position and how he feels. However, because it's Pluto and his moon is in there as well, it's not going to be necessarily understood until maybe after the after effects. Meaning when he's like in his 60s, then we'll be like, oh, or the public may look at him differently. If he continues to do more charitable things, continue to create value within his community. But as for now, he's looked upon as something else, something different. I'm not going to go into all the different things because I have my own opinion about it as well, and this is just a test read. So let's get back into the Capricorn stuff. So this is Capricorn 10th house. If this is his placement according to his actual chart, it's affecting his career. And as we can see, these reverse retrogrades, I don't even call them reversals, that's what they do in the tarot card, but the retrogrades are really affecting his career, his image, because his sun sign is Capricorn. As you can see, his sun natally Capricorn. His Mars is in Capricorn. Is it? Let's see. Yep, 29 degrees. So he's almost at that Aquarius. That's going to be hard for him because as a Capricorn Mars, he's almost Aquarius, and just that one slight degree off can change the whole aspect of his actions and how he is perceived in society and around the public. His natal Mercury is in Capricorn, and right now Mercury is transiting Cancer, which is the opposition, opposing. He means what he says, he's sincere about it, but it's not going to come off that way at the moment. So he has to get reconditioned and re-clear. Basically, when I saw the interview he had, when I read some of the text that he had, he made valid points about certain things, but he didn't make it clear enough for others to understand or to verbally say, I can support him on his cause. Because of that, it came off as random. It came off as miscommunication. We're still leaving Mercury and Venus shadow, which Venus shadow left July 28th. So Venus is officially out of retrograde and out of retrograde shadow. Had he waited to say what he was going to say, maybe when December, October, let's go October, November, December, where things are coming out of retrograde and going back into Aquarius. Just like when this George Floyd incident happened, those planets were in Aquarius, which brought attention to the world, which brought attention to humanity as a whole and the mistreatment of others, social injustice. The same thing could have happened with him as far as his displeasement of his management team and how they're handling his money and his career and his brand. But because we're in retrograde cycle, it backfired. His Uranus is in Scorpio, and it's intense. He's going to have some intense changes. That's in his 8th house. He's definitely going to transform and evolve from this. And he has transformed and evolved before, from what I read, with just being stabbed and being threatened about his life. I could definitely see that 8th house and Uranus. He has to be careful of himself, of his body. His 7th house is in Pluto, and the moon is in Pluto as well, which I talked about earlier. Interesting as far as relationship aspects, but I won't go into that because we're going to talk more about his career. His Kyron is in his 2nd house. He's a Kyron Taurus. Right now it's Kyron Aries in his retrograde. Kyron and Aries. Had he had Kyron Aries placement, he might have been understood a little more about his concerns, about his displeasement, but he's not getting that at the moment. Kyron is a Taurus. He's looked at differently. Kyron and Taurus people, from what is explained, is that a lot of times they're uncomfortable in their skin, or they're uncomfortable in their shells, where they have to do something totally different, off the grain, off the cuff. And we're also in the Uranus and Taurus season, so there's going to be a lot of changes going on in infrastructure and society, the way we handle food, the way we handle money, banking. And let's see if he has anything else going on. Yeah, most of the placements, if this is his actual birth time, more the outer planets will still be kind of the same, but it's just the house placements. So I'm going to go with this chart because what he's experiencing with his career is being shown here at the top. The charts don't lie. And that 9th house in Sag with that Neptune, he's a Neptune Sagittarius. He's also a Venus in Sagittarius. Very interesting. He should venture out in using communication and using his talents and trying to do other things outside of his country. It would be interesting for him to write a book at this point. It would be interesting for him to travel. I heard he has an MBE, which is something that was appointed to him by the Queen. I have to do more research on that, but supposedly it's prestigious. So he did. This explains that Sagittarius house right there of getting those type of rewards. I think with these retrogrades, though, that might put this stuff in jeopardy. And honestly, if you just take a low profile for now, because he has Jupiter in Leo, which is a good placement for Jupiter. Expansion, it's in his 5th house. Focusing more on having fun at this point, because Leo is 5th house anyway, period. So if a person who has that type of placement will benefit from it more from what it looks like. That Saturn in his 6th house, as I mentioned earlier, in Virgo, is going to be chalkable lessons. He had to learn hard lessons from the time he was a young and a youth until now. And he's still going to learn that, because Saturn is a long-term planet that teaches you long-term karma, as it says. So his karma, basically his karma is going to be about work, his work ethic, 6th house. Honestly, he stayed true to himself, because he also has that North Node in Virgo. He just got to stay true to himself. And the apology, I will have to read that again and come back and see. But from what I got, y'all leave your comments if you like to let me know what you think. But he's going to stand on his principles, and hopefully he will continue to stand on his principles. He should get with an astrologer, real talk, so he could plan out the next 6 months of how he should proceed, because that can make or break him at this point. He will be facing maybe a Saturn opposition soon, because Saturn opposition comes at the age of 43, between 42 to 44. And oppositions will provide challenges, so he has to work through them. But if he's prepared ahead of time, they won't be surprising and knock him off his feet, in a sense. Alright, so I think that's where I'm going to leave it at for now. If I see anything else, I'll provide an update or a part 2 to the video. But once again, this was my reading on the UK rapper named Wiley K. Alright, take care.